Ever find yourself wondering if you've turned into a glorified roommate rather than a husband? Welcome to the club, my friend. You know how it goes. You're sitting there munching on your cereal at 6 in the morning when she strolls in, hair all messy, wearing your favorite basketball jersey like it's her personal nightgown. And she pours herself a cup of coffee, not even batting an eyelash at the fact that you've been up for hours slaving over the stove to make her favorite breakfast. Right then and there, you have this sneaking suspicion that you're not in Kansas anymore. You're not the king of the castle. You're just the guy who takes out the trash and unclogs the toilet when she overdoes it with the bath bombs. Or maybe it's the fact that she's taken over your man cave. One day you're watching the game with the guys, and the next, it's turned into her personal yoga studio. You're banished to the tiny corner with your old recliner and the TV, while she's in the middle of the room doing some kind of blend of a downward dog and a warrior pose. And don't even get me started on the bathroom situation. You used to have a nice, simple setup: toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, and a razor. Now you're lucky if you can find your toothbrush amidst the sea of beauty products, hair tools, and that scary contraption she calls an eyelash curler. It's a wild, wild world in there, my friend, one where you're constantly walking on eggshells, wondering if you're doing too much or too little. Are you being too needy or too distant? Are you her partner or her personal handyman? Are you her husband or her roommate? But hey, don't sweat it. This is not a lonely road you're walking. There are legions of us, the confused and the befuddled, the husbands who feel more like roommates in their own homes. Don't worry, pal. You ain't alone in this. Stick around and we'll figure this out together. Now, how do you know if you're just a rent payer with benefits? Let's dive into the telltale signs. First off, let's talk about the bills. If you find yourself splitting the bills right down the middle, like some college roomies, you might be more of a tenant than a spouse. I mean, when was the last time you saw a husband and wife squabbling over who ate more of the cereal or used more of the hot water? That's some roommate drama right there. Next up, the laundry. Now, I'm not saying you should never do your own laundry, but if you're constantly washing and folding your own clothes while your significant other's laundry is neatly done and tucked away, well, you might just be your woman's live-in laundromat. And let me tell you, that's not a sexy role to be in. Now let's talk about decor. If you walk into your home and don't recognize a thing, if it looks like some interior designer had a field day while you were out, well, you might just be a guest in your own home. When your opinion on the decor is tossed aside like yesterday's newspaper, that's a pretty clear sign you're living in a roommate situation. And lastly, if you got a curfew, yeah, you heard me right, a curfew, then my friend, you've got a landlord, not a wife. If you're getting texts every hour asking, "Where are you?" and "When are you coming home?" then you're not the king of your castle, you're just a tenant with a lease. So there you have it, splitting bills, doing your own laundry, having no say in the decor, and living under a curfew. These are the telltale signs that you might be more of a roommate than a husband in your own home. If these signs sound familiar, it might be time to reevaluate your living situation, my man. Welcome to the roommate zone, a place colder than Antarctica and lonelier than a one-man band. Now, you might be wondering, what's this roommate zone? Well, let me paint you a picture. It's that space where you're living with your lady, but instead of feeling like the king of your castle, you feel more like the jester. You're sharing the same roof, splitting the bills, maybe even sharing a bed, but the passion? The romance? That's as scarce as a decent slice of pizza in LA. It's like you're stuck in an episode of Friends. Except you're both Ross and Rachel, and you're on a break that never seems to end. You're not just picking up after yourself, you're picking up after her too. And not because you're a gentleman, but because you're her de facto housemate. In the roommate zone, date nights are replaced with Netflix binge nights. And no, not the Netflix and chill kind, more like the Netflix and who ate the last slice of pizza kind. And don't even get me started on the bathroom situation. You're not sharing sweet bubble baths or steamy showers. Oh no, you're queuing up for your turn and praying to the toilet paper gods that she's left you some. But here's the kicker, fellas. The roommate zone is like quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. You try to spice things up, maybe cook her a fancy dinner. But instead of getting a romantic evening, you're left scrubbing dishes while she's snoring on the couch, crumbs of your culinary masterpiece still clinging to her sweater. Being in the roommate zone is like being stuck in a traffic jam. You can see your destination, but you're not moving. And the worst part, The radio's broken and all you can hear is the ticking of the clock. The roommate zone ain't a place you want to be, fellas, but don't worry, there's a way out. All right, it's time to plan your escape from the roommate zone. No, you won't need a shovel or a getaway car. So, you found yourself stuck in the roommate zone, huh? It's a rough place to be, but don't worry, we've all been there. Now let's start planning your breakout. First things first, you gotta start acting like a husband again. I don't mean just picking up your dirty socks, although, let's be real, it wouldn't kill you to do some laundry once in a while. I mean, start engaging with your partner, show some interest, ask about her day, listen to what she's got to say, and for the love of all that's holy, remember your anniversary. Next up, you gotta start reclaiming your space. I'm not talking about marking your territory like a dog in the park. Nah, I mean start contributing to the decisions around the house. If she's picking out the new curtains without asking for your opinion, you've got yourself a problem. Now, on to the big one, intimacy. I'm not talking about getting down and dirty, no, I'm talking about the little things. Holding hands, a peck on the cheek, a warm hug. These things might seem small, but they're the glue that holds a relationship together. And lastly, don't forget communication. It's the key to any relationship. If you feel like you're being sidelined, speak up. You're not a mind reader and neither is she. So there you have it, a 4-step plan to break out of the roommate zone. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to put in some work. But trust me, it's worth it. Remember, gentlemen, it's your house too. Don't let yourself be demoted to a roommate. All right, we've covered a lot today, from recognizing the signs to plotting your escape from the dreaded roommate zone. We've navigated the treacherous waters of cohabitation, deciphered the cryptic language of relationship status, and even managed to find humor in the face of adversity. We started off asking the million-dollar question, am I your husband or just your roommate? A question that might have sounded absurd at first, but as we dug deeper, we discovered it's a question many of us are living but afraid to ask. Like that time when she complained about the toilet seat being up again, or when she started scheduling your laundry days. Then we took a detour down the path of telltale signs. We learned that if she's treating you like a roommate, chances are you're in the roommate zone, my friend. We explored the subtle hints, the not-so-subtle ones, and everything in between. Like when she stopped caring about your alone time with the game on TV, or when she started referring to you as her live-in help. And then we stepped into the dreaded roommate zone, a place where love goes to hibernate and passion takes a back seat to practicality. We've all been there, whether we admit it or not. But fear not, for we also charted a course to escape the roommate zone. Remember, it's never too late to change the game. Who knows, you might just find that spark again. So, there you have it. A crash course on navigating the murky waters of cohabitation and relationships. But remember, this ain't no gospel, it's just a little bit of humor, a little bit of advice, and a whole lot of real talk. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. And hey, check out the other videos on this page. They're guaranteed to make you laugh, think, or both.